Stimulate, don't annihilate, and come back to get it the next day. Minimum effective dose. What the hell does that mean? Boom! Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, CEO, MTS, Nutrition. Minimum effective dose. You might think about minimum effective dose, prescription drugs. All right, here is what I need to take to get the desired effect. Whether it's anti-inflammatory response, whether it's acuity, or let's say for Prozac, it's different psychological things. You're looking at minimum effective dose. For, let's say, dietary supplements, you look at the range of doses, like Pico 2, for example. It builds up in your system. You have a minimum effective dose of X, and then you have where it's point of diminishing returns. So, what I'm going to talk about today is minimum effective dose in training. This is something I learned while at Exos, and it's something that I've always known, but it kind of pounded it into my head because as bodybuilders, we think about going harder means getting better, all right? We think about go hard or go home. We think about overtraining doesn't exist. You know, you got CT Fletcher, my buddy Mike Rashid, going on about overtraining is a joke, blah, blah, blah. And to an extent, they're right, absolutely. However, in Exos, or let's say if I'm training a professional football player, if I'm training my daughter who plays very high level soccer for her age, like my son does, if I'm training them, I do not want to take away from their performance the next day. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you train right up to that point, right up to that fucking point, that you're not overtrained so much. And I use overtraining not in the point of overtraining as a condition, but training beyond your capacity to recover for the next workout, okay? What I want to do is I want to take it right up to that point where you can recover for your next session. Now, doing legs once a week is tough because let's say you're doing a body part split. Your thought is to go in and crush chest or biceps or triceps or back or shoulders for as long as it takes. So you get a 2-hour workout in. Well, what if, you've done a heavy compound movement like squat or even a heavy leg press. You've done a few ancillaries like maybe Bulgarian split squats or single leg rear-legged deadlift. I'm going over my workout from today and maybe some pistol squats. Is anything else going to do anything more? Is it going to elicit, like Lee Haney said, bringing it back to bro? Bringing bro back, bringing it back to bro, getting all this science shit out of the air? Is it going to elicit anything except decreasing recovery? Now the goal is, let's say you train, boom, you elicit this. But then during recovery, you can't perform, okay? So you're a little bit higher. What if you gained, you went to minimum effective dose, you recovered, then you gain more? Over time, your linear gains from not affecting your next workout will be much greater than if you crush it and then the next workout you're like, I can't even squat because I just don't feel right. My nervous system seems overextended where I'm not like focused, I'm not hype in the gym. And that's why I, like for my 12-week trainer link down below, you can click on the link. It's 4 days a week. And for most people who have jobs, 4 days is perfect. I found that to be the sweet spot. And that's going by the Exo strategy, which you have a push-pull split, but it's different in that you do an upper pull, a lower pull, an upper push, and a lower push. So it gives you an opportunity to recover. And normally speaking, they segment things in groups. What I like to do is a compound movement, and then I like to do ancillaries, but knowing when to cut it off because you don't, like my thing is I train so hard when I get into my zone and I don't think like I almost did today. Katie, come here. I got Katie. Ladies and gentlemen, Katie. Now, I get into my zone and I start to think, don't turn around like that. You might get a little poke. Feel a little poke coming through. Okay, so check it out. I get to the point where we literally crush legs because we do 20 to 30 minutes of movement prep. Yep. So I crushed legs for a good hour. We were in there for an hour, did heavy leg press up to 13 plates per side, did single leg deadlift, did pistol squats, and then we did some Bulgarian split squats, then we did calves. And I'm standing there and Andrew's like, I'm out. Andrew Hubbard, who's one of our sponsored athletes. And I'm like, I think we got more to do. And then I thought about it, I'm like, well, that really I've already killed everything in here. You got to realize our movement prep also entails some warm-ups on leg extensions, leg curls.
Bands.
Now, yeah, and bands, which are a workout in themselves. So Katie, now you've done the whole crush it thing and the whole go to the gym, and you've trained me every step of the way from when I was getting ready to compete where I overtrained to now, which I think, honestly, and I speak for myself, I think I look better than any time I've ever looked in my life. I feel better. I have more energy. I can play with my kids. I used to train so hard. I remember when Cammie was a baby. I remember when Thomas was a baby. Like, even holding the baby, I'd get fatigued holding them.
Well, and at that time, if you're a contest prep, you're also very strict with your macros. And so if you're hungry, you're not adding more food in. Like today, though, if you were hungry, you added a little bit more food in. So
because I had to eat a certain level, and I think I'm leaner now than even when I was contest prep. And also contest prep, you're just...
It's the whole mental aspect.
But that's beyond the scope of this. What I'm getting at with people, with everybody involved in this video, is that you don't necessarily have to go to the gym with the sole intention of killing it, crushing it, grinding. If you guys follow my Instagram story, I go off all the time about grinding is the most overused term on Instagram. You know what grinding is? And I'll say this for the YouTube audience as well. Grinding is a single mother working 2 jobs, trying to hold it together, filling both roles in the household. Grinding is someone who loses his job, his family needs food on a table, so he goes and takes a job as a construction worker or pouring concrete, goes from his comfy desk job to working in, let's say, winter in Chicago because he needs to make ends meet. That's grinding. Going to the gym is a fucking privilege. Like, we are so privileged to be able to spend money to go to and improve ourselves, make ourselves live longer, healthier, and more productive lives. So to say that you're fucking grinding is beside the point, but what I'm getting at is that mentality. That whole like, well, this Insta-ho did this, or well, fucking, Kai Green trains for 3 hours or whatever, and Kai Green is a freak and he does train hard. And I can never recover. And also there's the genetic barriers. Like, I know people, even at my training level, which is decreased, when I train with a random dude who wins a contest or something, generally speaking, they're fucking buried at the end of the workout. The shit Katie does, because her body's built up a tolerance to it, just like my huge cock, every step of the way. I mean, her body's built up that tolerance over time. If you throw someone who's not used to training with my level of intensity, and I'm no Kai Green, but my level of intensity is above the average person. And just, here's what I said. Andrew and I were in the bathroom naked talking. And I told him today, and we were talking about minimum effective dose. And I said, I'm going to do this video because it's fascinating to me. And
by the way, follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, Andrew Hubbard, Hubbart, a brave American veteran. Yeah, he's a veteran and everything. Not a veterinarian, although he does love animals and pets. He has a great dog. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, our whole thing is that you get that mentality. And, people in the gym, right? You go to the gym, and I do this. I love going to commercial gyms because it gives me perspective. And it's also, for me, market research, because these are the people buying my supplements, right? Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, you can see a whole bunch of them back there. This is not out for the video. This is actually what we take.
No, we don't bother putting
this is just the morning. So, look around the gym. Half the people, if they're training, they're going half-ass. They're playing grab-ass. They're talking on the phone. They're texting. If you see me and Katie, like Katie was having a great conversation with someone who asked what the fuck we did. Said, hey, saw your car. What do you do? But I was in the zone, so I went over and I fucking was knocking out set after set. Katie went pee today. Her bladder is very small. And I'm like, well, fuck, man. Instead of waiting for her between sets, I'm going to do an extra set of leg press. She came up. I'm like, hold on. I'm going to get an extra set in. Katie will do the same thing. I'll go take a shit or a piss, and she'll come back up because you get in that zone. Most people in the gym don't know what the fuck the zone is. So if you're zoned out and you're going intense, like Dorian Yates is the king of this. Dorian Yates was the king of minimum effective dose, even though he trained so intense he tore every muscle in his body. But Dorian Yates would go in there and he'd be like, I remember watching a video with him in, I think it was Cormier, and he's like, all right, that's it. Even when I trained with him, 40 minutes, we're done. He goes, all right, let's go get something to eat. And that was that.
I think it takes a lot of time to figure out what you can and can't do and how you recover. Like, if you're a beginner, you've got to try different things and how far you can push yourself in a workout in any given day and know how you're going to feel the next day when you're supposed to come work out again. So it's definitely a learning curve. Here's
the thing, and here's where I risk something with minimum effective dose. And this is not directed at this audience. This is just people in general. Generally speaking, 99% of the people watching this, just based on overall, are undertrained. Like, very few people train hard enough. And the thing is, I get this question all the time, and you get it on Instagram with me. It's like, hey, you know, I fell off. How do I come back to the gym after a month off? I'm like, first of all, why'd you take that month off? Oh, stuff came up. I'm like, here's number one. Find something you want to stick to where you don't fall off. Consistency is key. Like I went over on Instagram Live today, Katie, is I've only gained, if you average it out, since I started training, 0.75 pounds of lean mass every year. I've gained less than 1 pound a year, and I'm accused of being on every drug on planet Earth. Less than a pound. So someone asked the question, it's like, hey, I'm not seeing any gains. I'm like, what do you expect to see? Like, you live for 2 weeks, you're like, oh my God, I'm Phil fucking Heath. Now, certain people can't. They're called Phil Heath. But that's about it. I mean, other than that, you're looking at years and years of hard work and dedication, unless you're a genetic elite. And if you're a genetic elite, you won't be asking me the question, why the fuck aren't I gaining lean mass?
Well, another thing we were talking about with Andrew this morning is people say they're overtrained, and they truly probably don't know what overtrained is.
Overtraining is such, and another thing is overtraining. If you look at how hard it is to overtrain, look at survival. You know what I mean? Like, that's what his thing is.
His example was
his example was survival, military.
4 days without food or something.
Yeah, I mean, the body adapts. So mainly that's so outside the scope of this video, which we do a lot. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is, you need to look at what you can do if you are training hard enough to elicit the maximum response without taking away from what you're going to do the next day you train. For those of you who train 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, which, by the way, Wednesday is the slowest day at the gym now because everybody's following a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday split, it seems. What you got to realize is, okay, I'm coming back to, okay, so I'm doing upper push today. I got lower push tomorrow. Will this day affect the next day? Mm-hmm. Okay? Or will it be overwork? And can I recover from this? So that's the question. Those of you going, can I train 2 times a day? The answer is yes. You just got to account for the total volume and account for the fact that you need to recover for that next session. That's it. Anything to add, baby?
No, I think we covered it all.
Minimum effective dose.
It doesn't mean do your shit half-ass. I think if people say minimum.
No, it means go hard and get out.
Oh, what little bit can I do to get results? No, it's not really that. It's
go hard and get out.
Yep, exactly.
That's not a